Hey, Stampers, DDStamps here. Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com. And I just spent some time today trying to figure out how to go live again because it's been so long since I actually have done a tutorial or a video or any of those things. I think it's been since March. And when I sat down to do one, I had to kind of figure it all out again. But I think I have it kind of figured out. So I thought, well, I'll do a quick video this afternoon while I'm here. I don't even know if anybody will come on. I hope you do. And if you do, please put a comment in. Because I should be able to see those comments as they come up. So anyway, it looks like I do have a couple people that are watching, so that's good. I'm here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Life has been a little bit crazy. As you know, I lost my husband in January, and then of course COVID hit, and I'm working full-time now at our auto parts store, we are keeping it going. My son is here helping me, and then we did hire a guy that has worked for us in the past, but now he's working for us. Not full-time, but hopefully someday he will be. Things are going okay. COVID is weird, but it is what it is. Hi, Sherry. There's not much that I can say about COVID because, hey, Karen, it is what it is.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch.
Oh, my phone's picking up me talking. Sorry about that. So anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them into the comments. I'm going to go ahead and switch cameras over to my demonstration table. That was the hardest part, was trying to figure out how to get it all to switch back over. Hopefully it will work, and we'll get back on track for doing live events. So I'm going to switch that camera and go over there. Now, I'm not going to be able to see your comments while I'm demonstrating, but I can see them when I get back to the camera. So I'm just going to show a quick card today, or a couple of cards actually, using the beautiful autumn stamp set and punches. And so this, of course, is a bundle. It's this stamp set with these 3 punches, 2 leaves and an acorn. And I'm going to use all of the punches, actually. And then I'm going to use some colors that are not necessarily fall. And to tell you the truth, we kind of had fall, and then boom, we had winter. And we have had 2 snowstorms hit us in the last couple days. Several feet of snow hanging off the eaves of the houses around here. It's been kind of crazy. So I'm going to use some colors that are a little bit different and not necessarily fall, but some of my favorite colors. So I'm going to use Coastal Cabana, Just Jade, and Magenta Madness. And these 2 are in colors. So those are some great colors. I'm going to use a little bit of the ribbon and just some really basic supplies. So I've got a half a sheet of Whisper White cardstock, so it's 5.5 by 8.5. I'm going to fold that in half, and that will be my card base. And then I just have a strip of Whisper White that's 2.5 by 5.5. And then a little strip, and I'll have the measurements up for you eventually, a little strip of cardstock and the Coastal Cabana for this card. Now, hey, bear with me because I'm probably going to mumble and stumble through this. I didn't practice or anything. I'm just jumping in and doing it. So we're going to start with this piece of cardstock first, and I'm going to go ahead. This is like a 2-set stamp, so I'm going to use these oak leaves, and it has the fine, the detailed, and then the solid. And I'm probably going to do a lot of stamping off, so let me grab a piece of scratch paper, just so I have it here. And on this one, I'm going to go ahead and just stamp with the Coastal Cabana. And I'm just randomly stamping this oak leaf around. And what I like to do when I'm just stamping around is do them in 3s. So kind of groups of 3s and move around so that you don't get everything all, that kind of wasn't, that was way down. Anyway, and when you start to, what they say, hover, if you're hovering over your stamps or your paper, then you've stamped enough and you can stop stamping. Then I'm going to take the inside of that leaf, and I'm going to ink it up in the Coastal Cabana, but this time I'm going to stamp it off on my paper over here, and then because you can see through, I'm going to stamp it again, and then you get that 2-tone look to that image. Stamp it off. And photopolymer is so easy to line up. Whoops. So I'm just doing all the stamping on this sleeve. And then I'm going to come in with another little leaf and the magenta. And I'm just going to stamp these. Oops. Nice thing about photopolymer. Hope my head's not in the way. That's close enough. You can actually, stamp it again. Just randomly put some of those down. I'm going to set this aside. That magenta ink was really juicy, so it might take a little bit extra time to dry. And then I'll do the same thing with these leaves. But this card would be great in any colors. Once I've got that done, I'm going to bring in my punch. And I'm just going to line up the punch. Of course, you line it up from the back. And careful that you don't get the palm of your hand in there. Punch those out. Bring back my piece of cardstock here. Oh, I'm going to grab some dimensionals. Grab some little dimensionals here. These are our mini dimensionals. We have dimensionals in 2 different sizes, and then of course also in black. And I'm just going to add this to give this card a little bit of dimension. Add some leaves with dimensional on there. And then I'm going to come in with, where's the piece of coastal cabana? Here it is. And this time I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the jade color. I'm going to ink up this stamp. This one actually says, "Life is better with you." And I'm just going to stamp that on this piece of cardstock. And then just for something, give that a little bit of a trim on that. And then we're going to put the card together. As you can see, I'm using snail, and snail retired out of the catalog, but I do have some left. So I have been using it. Using it all up in the last couple weeks. But I do love the new adhesive that we have. So on this one, I'm just going to put some adhesive on the back of this, and then I'm going to take my piece of ribbon and actually attach it onto that adhesive. And this just helps me keep control of my ribbon. I think I'm probably not in the camera as much as I should be. Sorry. It'll take me a while to get used to remembering to do all this. And then you can just kind of fiddle with your ribbon to see how you want your loops to be. If they're too big, if they're too small. Anyway, you can do some adjusting. And then I'm going to grab a pair of scissors here, and I'm just going to trim my edges. And I'm actually going to put this piece on with some dimensionals. And those are just going right on the ribbon or on the cardstock, wherever it happens to land on this label. I'll show it to you. Sorry, I keep going out of the... And then I think people are messaging me and I can't see them right now, but I'll go back over here in a second. And I'm just going to add this right onto my card. And you can see, this is the one I did my sample, this is the one I did on the video. But it's just a super easy way to make a really cute card with any colors that you have. Could be for any season. I'm going to go ahead and pop back on over here. Oh, Jackie. This was Jackie's comment. I love it. Yeah, I'm going to have a hard time because I haven't done it for so long. So hopefully I will be able to get back to doing it on camera. So I will, I will keep an eye on that. But thank you anyway. Okay, so I have another card, and it's probably going to not take me very long, and then I will say goodbye. So let me switch back over to my other camera. I'll try better this time, getting things in the camera. Move these out of the way. So for this next card, I'm using some of the same supplies. I'm using a piece of Coastal Cabana cardstock. This is going to be my card base. So it's just 8.5 by 11, cut in half. So 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. That's your card base. I'll need a scrap of that. I'm going to use some ribbon. And then again, some Whisper White cardstock. And I'm going to use a couple of different stamps from that stamp set. So let me pull those out. I'm going to use these little leaves. Oak leaves. I have a whole bunch that I'm using. Okay, so to begin with, I'm going to start with these leaves. And it's just a little grouping of leaves. And I'm going to go ahead and do this in jade. And I'm going to stamp these right down my piece of cardstock. And I might even put some over here. There we go. So just to give it that little piece of cardstock some texture, it's 2.5 by 3.5. Coastal Cabana. Then I'm going to take a strip of cardstock here, and I'm going to use a couple of different stamps. We're going to do some oak leaves. So I got to make sure this is clean. Okay. I just lost the oak leaf. Fell. Oh, I could just cry. So I dropped this is the hard part about the photopolymer stamps. They're easy to lose. I just dropped it on the floor. I have no idea where it is. I'm going to go forward without it at this point. We're going to go ahead and use the maple leaf, and we'll do them in a couple different colors. So, oops. Do this one in jade. And then I'm going to come in again, and I'm going to stamp it off. See, I'm back, not doing it there. I'll go back up to the camera. Sorry. Stamp it off, line it up. Stamp it off, line it up. So I'm sure that little oak leaf that I dropped is probably stuck to me, or the dog, or I'll find it eventually. I'll do a couple of oak leaves in the pink, magenta. Again, I'm just cleaning these off in between so that I don't end up with jade ink in my magenta pad. I'm going to do a good job there. There we go. And then the last one I'm going to do is going to be the acorn. So I'll ink up the acorn. And then the acorn has two different pieces to it. So it has, let's do it this color, the bottom of the acorn, and then the top of the acorn. And then again, we're just going to use my punches. Punch out the leaves. My stamping wasn't perfect, but it doesn't matter. People aren't looking for perfection when you make them a card. Well, some people probably are, but I'm not. And then punch up my acorn. And then I'm going to take my little piece of cardstock here that I had, and I'm going to start another piece of, I have another piece of magenta ribbon that I'm going to actually take it and I'm going to tie it around this twice, and then tie it in a bow. Hopefully I'm in camera. Oh yeah. Boy, it's going to be hard. It's going to take me a while to get back to what I'm supposed to remember. Trim off my edges. And then I'm going to use this little piece of Whisper white cardstock that I have out already. I'm going to make this a thank you card. So I just added the thank you onto one of my acrylic blocks. Again, that is really juicy, so it's going to take a little bit for it to dry. And then I'm just going to use dimensionals. Get the backs off those. Add this onto this piece, and it does hang off on this edge, so I just want to make sure I don't stick it to my table. And then I'm going to flip these all over and add a little dimension onto them. So, and then just add them to my card. And again, I use colors that not normal for fall, but when you get this much snow in October, you're allowed to use whatever spring colors you choose to. This idea was actually presented by Stampin' Up, and so I just thought, well, this is kind of a cute idea. I'm just going to copy what they did. I don't like that one there. There. So there's the piece, and then this whole piece is going to go onto the card with just some snail. And add it to the front of my card. And I'm going to trim this off just a slightly bit there. There we go. Anyway, just a really quick card. This is the one that I made the first time. This is the one I made the second time. You can see where this one has the oak leaves. Then I'm going to have to search for that stamp. But I like it just as well with just the maple leaves. So hopefully you like that. Okay, I'm coming back over to the camera so that I can, oh my goodness. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Ah, my hair. Yeah, so I started I stopped coloring my hair in, I think it was November. And so it was kind of the perfect timing to not color it anymore with COVID and everything else. So then so it's my natural color. It is what it is. Thank you for those that commented. So I'm just quickly running through. Love the punches. I have to be honest with you. I think punches are still my favorite because to me they're just so simple. And so that's always good. Hi, Katie. I'm doing all right. Mary Ellen's here. Thanks, Jackie. Great. Julie's here. Good. Well, I just want people to know that I am trying to work on figuring out a schedule. So my hope is I will come back to doing Stampin' Up. Probably not full-time for a while, but we'll get back there. We'll get back there. At least I can do a video now without bursting into tears or getting anxiety. And I was having those issues, and that's why I just kind of let it go for a while. But anyway, thank you. I will have a PDF. I have one here. I'll put some information up on my website too, and at www.DDStamps.com if you are interested in that. Other than that, yeah, it was great to see you guys. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for tuning in. Like I said, I spent a couple hours this afternoon trying to figure it out, and then thought, well, I'm going to go live and see what happens. Looks like it worked. So that's a good thing. And as long as nobody has any other questions, I will speak to you soon. Thank you. And hey, you guys, it was good. Talk to you later. Bye.